Greetings everyone, hello and welcome back once again to Anno 800 New Horizons. I'm very good of you to join and stick around to our growing, well, Asian city that is Kangwang. And we have finished in the last episode, just this a tiny wonder over here. And of course, in this episode, well, we continue with the next temple right away that we have over here. That is my pleasure pavilion. Right now, the clock is ticking, so I think the remaining gold is in. The problem here primarily is that we're lacking the workforce to get this one done in a reasonable amount of time. So in this case here, we need to push more people again. Just in general, we need to push more people, by the way, because we're lacking workforce, we're lacking also production. So I continue with, let's just say, another city district, probably over here now. So we are kind of growing towards the industry zone in Kangwang that we have, somewhere over here, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and we can probably, actually, yes, we can have paved streets everywhere since they require stone. I love this feature, by the way, so that there is its own material just for the pavement. So I don't need to waste my clay plaster, which is way harder to produce, for other things, right? And I can use my stone that is just super easy to produce for my paved roads. Loving that. Let's have my paved road going all the way up here. So in this case here, we are getting into the industry zone now. For that sector, right? So there we already have a wall. That wall probably extends then all the way here, because you might just have a few more buildings. And here we can then once again continue with a bunch of buildings, but not like this. Let's have a road here still, right? And then I'm gonna go ahead with, we're probably just gonna take this one. Yeah, that's fine. And have a block here and probably a block here. And then perhaps a few more houses here. And this warehouse, of course, will disappear at some point. No, it won't, because you know why? Because we still need to have a constant supply of goods coming in for this monument to work, right? So the warehouse will stick behind a bit further. Some over here. It doesn't need to have a direct road connection, but for the construction, let's have it. Let's also upgrade it so it looks proper, and ornaments will follow then suit. And with that, let's have, let's have a park here, right? Definitely want to have something. And then we just finish those again with the respective ornaments on top of that. Continuing the expansion here, I really wanna wrap up the city development of Kangwang. It's already a pretty big town. You might even call it a city at this point. And gonna go ahead. Where's my marketplace? Super hard to see for me. I'm gonna go ahead and have these guys here still, and then these guys here. There it is, right? I didn't see it. Holy cow. There's my city plaza, right? And once again, we can also upgrade this one to the next level then. So it has a bit of a taller tower. They just look fantastic, really. Beautiful. And while we're here, I'm really getting distracted by dirt roads at this point. So I'm just going to upgrade all of them. Let's just see. Upgrading the whole streets is just 137 stone. So that's actually quite manageable. And with that, I can then push more people here. And also here especially. And yeah, with all the materials we have, that's just 76 tons of timber that this whole thing cost me. That's fine. To continue the expansion over here. By the way, this warehouse can also be upgraded once again to tier 3. Haven't done this yet, so let's have a look at them. Alright, that's the tier 3 warehouse, the maximum that you can go for. Biggest problem for my consumption is that in Kangwang we are now consuming 10 tons of sushi. That's a lot. And on my island where we produce it, we are producing a whopping 8. Yeah, that's also not very great that we have. So we got the rice here, we got the algae, we got the herring here. Wait a second. Do we have the herring here? We do, right over here. And they're sometimes getting destroyed. And yeah, I do have my protection over here already. And we continue with, a bit more protection, a bit more of production. The algae, they're not affected by monsoon, right? And they're also not affected by the dry season. So they're basically working all year long and doing the same thing. Let's get the warehouse down there a bit further. Can I upgrade? I could, but it's costing me a lot of bricks. So I'm gonna just go ahead and build me a second one. And then this certainly will not be enough for my production. So we have 12 right now, 18 on the rice, but this is affected by the season. So this is really interesting, right? With the seasons, I love this because it adds a lot of complexity to your planning and how you go ahead with having production chains set up and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and build me those herrings over here. They're the most important ones, and then a bunch more of my algaes here. Perhaps here? Great. Also gonna have them here. So with that we should have enough, but what we don't have now is, of course, workforce. First of all, we got some burning, and then we just continue with a city expansion here for primarily my farmers. And with all of this, I'm now able to also continue my sushi production. I'm gonna have me another warehouse than just here. Alright, and with that we have now the total of 16. That is still not quite where I would like to have it, because obviously we also have our own consumption in Danjeng that I would like to keep. So let's just add 2 more to this area as well. So this whole area gets up. We will need another warehouse, because this is actually 2 per minute, which is a lot when you add it up with all of them. Herring is in, lots of rice is in, and also the algae. And with that, we have hopefully fixed the sushi. Well, it might be raining, but the people are celebrating nonetheless. There's elephants roaming the streets of Kangwang. And also, this is the Imperial Durbar City Festival. Increases the productivity of all company productions by 80%. Oh, that's not so bad. There's also a quest, a resident quest. Is some Imperial's little officer under Wu's flag had to hold for the night while on his way to deliver reports or some nonsense. But by morning, I discovered that he and his band of no-good troops had emptied every jar and shelf in my kitchen. Can you help me replace what they took? We do get an Imperial sketch collection. Holy cow, that's legendary. Trade union. And affects my telephone production, pen assembly, gramophone factory, with 50% additional production, and they produce industrial lubricants. Alright, it's a delivery quest. We'll just see. Oh, he wants 24 rice. Alright, let's go ahead and do this. And with that, we have finished that and got ourselves there a very nice legendary item. Selling is not worth it, right? 275,000. There was a time when this was a lot of money. That's not the case anymore. Now, if you're looking at my harbor area, you will notice that there are some ships here with quests on them. Up to yesterday, this didn't work for me, but there has been a patch, and now finally we do get a quest out of this. And yeah, these are specific quests for the region that give me items for the region, like bamboo forestry production boost. The wandering workers seek a better future for themselves in your city. They will also give me some incense. Funnily enough, Jean Lafetune has an opinion about this, right? And let's just check it out. And they're joining now, right? So this is workforce coming in. It's not a quest per se, but it's, well, some bonus. Oh, this one is a cook and affects Mahore's kitchens. Also with what that is. Where can I see what we get out of that though? Because if I'm just accepting we're getting those items, that's nice, right? But outside of that, I think nothing really happens, right? Despite it's just free items. And special items, of course, especially. This is probably something that is important, right? So we're getting these strange things that I have no use outside of some productions, like the Koji, for example. Now we had the town hall item already, or building, and now we also have the trade union, like here. And here we can now equip those items that we just got, like for example for the kitchens, for the foundries, for the cookhouses with the sushi. I think I'm gonna do this. Where are we producing the sushi again, by the way? Oh, no, wait a second, we're not doing this here. They're the kitchens, right? So this should actually work out for the kitchens. If I move it over. Do we get the boost here? Yes, we get. There is no... Oh, now there's the overlay. Alright, so if I click on it, now it's working. And this gives me now the 100% productivity boost on the roast duck that we're producing. Which is a very expensive building, by the way, because it costs 125 Gongren. Alright, another wandering worker. So this is basically free money too. Look at that. That's 500,000 we're getting out of this. And Admiral Wu Guwei despises your draining of the Tianming's empire workforce. So that's this guy here, isn't it? No, that's Bavarians. Where is this guy? Because I have a feeling that if we take too many of them, some of them will retaliate. Right, this guy here, for example. Some of these ornaments are fantastic, by the way. So here we just make a canal, right? And then we add these temples to it. I think this looks lovely. And then some additional paving here again in front of it. You get over it with those bridges there. We probably just need a proper one. So I'm just gonna go ahead and have this one here completed. Yeah, that's much better. I like this one a lot. Alright, upgrade time. We have lots of non-mim, and I'm gonna go ahead and have these guys here upgrade again. That's just the timber, right? And let's check it out. There we have our bathhouse. Yeah, the range of this is so huge that I probably don't need to worry about bathhouse coverage anytime soon. Why can I not upgrade now? Oh, yeah, we lack the clay plaster. Clay plaster production is in full swing though, with the clay and with the bamboo, but it's not enough because production is really not that fast. Do we have perhaps an item I can use for clay? No, unfortunately not. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna build me a couple more. Huh? Jean Le Fortune declares war on us. How dare he? Didn't we just pay him protection money of some sorts? There you go. Alrighty, next monument completed as well. Let's ready for finalization. Let's finalize it. Pleasure Pavilion. Ah, there you go. And in this case here, it consumes now Kodos to give me a production, an island-wide production boost. Also get 1,000 attractiveness. Let's check the attractiveness out. So we're a appealing colony right now.
Have they run out of ideas already?
I don't really see though why we would need attraction since there is no tourism on this island. Of course, it makes people happier to be on an attractive island, right? That's just overall leading to more happiness. So we should see this here. Pollution is low, news, luxury, we got the working conditions, and island peace is also there. So all of this contributes to a happy population that we have right now. And well, with that one here, there's the Kodos, and we get now the production boost. We get the Eastern literature out of this one here, and also a resident buff that all residences with the Kodos or Umesho need fulfilled are provided with violins and durian fruit. Oh, that sounds interesting. What is that anyway? So by the way, we have now also everything fulfilled for the Gongren. There's the violin, but we need 15,000 investors for this one to be unlocked. And then we also have, there's the Eastern literature. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, we consume this right on the island. I have no idea where the other thing though is because I don't see this. Umesho. No, there's no other product though that I would miss right now. So what I can go here with is the literature. Let's unlock this one. And it's already being fulfilled. This just adds more Gongren now, basically. Speaking about Gongren, let's continue also with a bunch more upgrades, especially here closer to my temple. Alright, so that we don't have the peasants living right near my monuments. And then a bunch more here. Further growing this city. And I also like that we have this one here now right on the main street that goes through the whole city all the way over here to my pavilion. Adding some more decorations around it. Also here we have our... I mean, we have houses rather close to it, right? I think that is too close. Let's move these buildings away a bit. So that we also have a nice area here where this temple goes in. Bit of a space you definitely want to have around it, right? And then we can have some decorations here too. Let's just see what we haven't used yet. We got the paved stone, we got the Kilin statue. This is something we haven't used yet. It's very similar to the dragon. The dragon we've used. This one we haven't yet. It's looking lovely. There's our warehouse. This one needs to be there constantly to provide it with the materials. Or do we have a warehouse closer? This one here would still be within range, right? So we would need to have another entrance here. That is something we can provide, of course. Yeah, let's make a smaller one. Haven't used this one yet. This goes to my industry zone. And then we don't need that one, right? So this should work out. No, it doesn't. This is purely ornamental. We need to have the big gate here where the street goes through. This one, right? Because otherwise it's not gonna work out. Now we have the connection. Perfect. And we can get rid of this area again. Would also like to add once again one of these water areas. So I'm gonna go ahead with, let's use the pagoda again. We do also, by the way, have the pagoda with bell. We do have the arcade entrance. Just accept and see what happens if I endlessly accept them. We'll just see. Right, and then we got the canal all around it. And I'm probably gonna make it bigger. Like so. And then around that we have some nice trees. Do we have any new trees? We got the cherry trees. Got the normal groves. Got the willows. I like them especially. Let's add a few of them. Especially here in the back of it. I think this could look lovely. There you go. The cool thing is that we can actually use our national park ornaments for this one here too. Right, so you can really go crazy with all the different ornaments. This is new. What in the name? A gravel sculpture, a large... Are these coming with the DLC? With the mod? This looks amazing. Okay, wait a second. Let's have one of them over here. Holy cow, yes. Beautiful. I didn't even notice them. Dragon Basin. Fantastic job. Really, I'm surprised. I'm continuously surprised by this mod. I didn't even notice that we have another type of decoration here. A lotus pond. Okay, let's have the lotus pond somewhere else entirely. Would like to make another area here, right? So a little park area where we can use one of these new decorations then. Like you have the lotus pond. We have the dragon basin. This is tiny in comparison. And the gravel sculpture. But let's go ahead with the pond that we have then right here. And okay, you need to have these. Okay, this one doesn't fit with that. We need this pathway there, right? Yeah, but you can't make this together. Okay, the duck pond really doesn't work out. But in that case here, the gravel bushes still do. Even though I think we'll need different paving for this. Do we have something? There it is. It's the red ones here with the city paving, right? That give it another nice look. A bit of an orderly park. And we do have these really cool looking Torii gates that we can have here. And they just fit into these entrances, right? Into the smaller area behind that. Where you then basically just go for one of these houses. So this is a very famous person living here. Just gonna have this one here upgraded. So that it looks like this is really an entrance to something. Gotta say, overall that city is growing nicely. Lots of decorations, ornaments. This DLC really provides. I always say DLC because this really feels like a paid expansion. But it's really just a community-made fan mod. And that just makes it so much more incredible. Back in Sleepy Hollow, we do have now enough oil again, right? Since the second oil tanker is fully working, so we have a surplus again. That allows me to have another power plant again that I need because I want to push more investors, and this district here has no electricity yet. So there's my power plant that would provide this area here with power. So let's go ahead and get this one done and also connect it with my rail network. For this, however, before we can fully advance, we need to still get something going. And what I notice is we're out of bread. Something fishy is going on here. First of all, yeah, as expected, if you don't visit your city constantly, ruins might disrupt you. But what is going on? Get the gray in. Okay, we got a loop here, a feedback loop, a -1. Running out of bread, and thus I cannot import grain. But without grain, I cannot make bread, right? So this whole thing was totally disrupted by that. Let's have a look what we can do instead. I could use my galena. Yeah, I would like to do this. It's a lovely new material. Also, we get tungsten in and the silver bars. And diamonds? Where did I get this one? Export high volumes of these goods to automatically improve your export level. Goods with high... What? Where did I get these amounts here? Like, this is huge. Silver bars? I'm not producing silver bars, and as far as I know, I'm also not importing them. And look at that, with the patch, my modules disappeared. But even then, doesn't make sense to me, right? Because I have no idea where I'm getting those resources from. There's my whiskey bourbon, and then we have my car production as well. Also gonna push in here again, so we import that. We should be full with trade licenses. Yeah, we are. And I mean, there's no production per se for these goods. Diamonds, nothing, right? So no idea where I'm getting them from. Perhaps it's the magnets producing them for me passively. I'm overlooking something here. No idea. Anyway, let's use the galena for now, because this is a reliable production for me to get the grain in. This is a 1-to-1, which is fine. You know, we're producing this in really high quantity. And here I'm gonna use then the bread again. Once we produce bread, we need to get rid of that, right? So bread is important as an export good. Let's also check it out. Oh, look at that! It was a visual bug. There is no silver bar. There are no diamonds in my storage. Oh, I'm going crazy here right now. Someone is playing with me. Okay, of course, obviously we're out of chocolate with that, because chocolate is tied to my bakeries. But we have the porcelain in. We have the sake in now. And also the fountain pens. With this, one magnet house produces 1,000 or generates 1,000 cash for me. So this is now the same amount as investors. Finally, right? Finally, we're at the same level. It's still no difference with the influence. Also, lifestyle-wise, we... Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, lifestyle-wise, of course, we also have 3 goods. So this is a bit of a bummer. You know, you should produce at least twice as much as an investor, because the effort is just huge to get these going. Right now, it feels a bit symbolic, honestly, that I'm doing this. It's optional, right? Because you basically have to put a lot of effort into just to get these going. So that's, yeah, that's that. Now, blue cheese would be another production that I was interested in. This is one of the new ones here. And with that, we need the noble mushrooms. We need the cattle farm that produces the milk. And we need the sugar, right, out of the new wall. So this is a bit of a harsh one. Now, sugar is fine. We have a huge surplus of that, right? 48 tons we produce. So that's 28 tons difference. I can easily now make my sugar production based on that. We produce, or we consume the sugar cane. Wait a second. We consume it for the rum distillery, and we also consume it for Horai. So we do have a trade route that works for Horai. Let's just find this one quickly. There it is, right? Yeah, Anola. It's 3 ships getting the sugar over 50 tons each. That's a lot. So we probably don't even have that much sugar cane in. Yeah, it's 128. That's actually okay. Let's make it a minimum stock so that I am not dropping below that, because we need that for our own production always, right? And then I just need my sugar refineries here. And I'm calculating, let's say, I think 2 would be already perfectly fine. Let's just see. Yeah, I could make 3. That's 6 tons of additional consumption for sugar. That's not gonna change that much, right? And it's definitely leading to a nice surplus of sugar then in Sleepy Hollow, where I would like to have this whole thing going to. With that, the sugar is rolling. And I can use my cargo ship that transports the bombings over already to get also the sugar going. Right, I'm just gonna say, yeah, 3 times. We still have room left. It's too much anyway, right? He's not gonna transport that many bombings over. But I'm gonna use this trader for that product, so we don't need to create a new one. Okay, with the sugar rolling, all we really need now is the import pear noble mushroom. This is though consuming trade licenses. So gotta be careful that we're not... I mean, I'm just gonna upgrade more people to magnets. This should be fine then already. Right. Can I see now trade licenses? Ah, yeah, okay. Consumption is 3. I don't see the production. Let's have the mushrooms. And then we just need the milk. Now, if you've been here since the beginning, you know that we had cattle farms here. I knew at some point we're gonna need them again. There they are. And pastures provide milk. So this is now the beef, and pastures provide milk. What does it mean? So this is new, right? They're producing beef, but they also have a secondary good production up now, and that is 1 ton of milk per cycle. This, however, leads to a problem, and that is that we're producing beef without needing it, without having to consume it. So I will need to make sure that we get rid of the beef somehow. Automatically, that's the biggest issue. I think we're just gonna go ahead with those here. At the moment, I have no real feeling of how much blue cheese we're gonna need. Right, it's 1 ton right now, so it might grow to 4 tons. So this one here produces now the milk. So we have 3 tons. Yeah, let's have another one. That's 4 tons of milk production, right? And then I just need to get the straight road going again between Mousemore and Sleepy Hollow. We have the hops trader going for this. Very good. And now we can also put milk on this. Holy cow, 75 tons of milk. It was already produced before, right? With my beef farms that we had. Very nice. So this is coming out now. About the beef, I think we do have Madame Kahina. Yeah. Or Eli. I think Eli would also purchase that. Yeah. We'll purchase anything that we have to offer. So what we need to do here is I'm going to make a charter route, in fact. And we're going to say, take the beef. I've never done this before now that I think about it. Because we always needed the products for something. But now we actually have something as a secondary product, right? That you need, but the primary product you don't need. And now I have to say, take the beef from Mousemore to Eli. Oh, charter routes cannot do this. Of course not. I mean, you can't have it simple, right? So we need to make a normal trade route out of this. And the cool thing is we get the Loka Yashiro available here. So it's perfect to do the job without any problems. Look at that valuable cargo that we have here on board. It's crazy. Okay, next in line. We have over here again my trading. So, right, the grain is in. We also upgraded Galena with that. That's important. So we can import now more in the future. Probably pushing this to 800 right away. Galena. And we still have 1 more Galena production possible, I think. Because we're also now using it, of course, for... Oh no, wait a second. I think we've used all of them. Nope, there's 1 more. Perfect. To have this going too. We lack the workers. That's those guys here. That's because of the bread and also the sickness. So this area will also need a hospital. We have the beautiful sanatorium that I haven't built so far. I'm considering it. I mean, why not? It's lovely. And the range is fantastic too. But I don't have the space really, right? We could potentially place it in here. Nah, I'm gonna go ahead with the Gnome Hospital because honestly we really don't have the space for that massive sanatorium. Okay, and with all of this, we can now build the industrial dairy. This one can be improved by electricity to produce it then every quarter minute. That is okay-ish, I guess. Looking again at my blue cheese. That's not enough though. We need 2 of them at least. If I want to secure this permanently. And yeah, as you can see also, this industry zone is getting cramped already. So let's just optimize things a bit here, so I can use the space more efficiency. So this bread here goes, right, and with that we can squeeze in one of these. And I have a feeling that we could get this going too. We don't really need that road here. Alright, so we have the main road here anyway. And with that I can squeeze in another one here. And just have the street here. This just works as well. And with that, we got the dairy production and the blue cheese production up and running, leaving me with the suits as my last one. And this was actually also not as difficult as it looks. We already get the cotton in. We produce huge amount of silk and safflower in, or pigments, in Horai. So we just need a new trade route for this. And yeah, we're gonna do this in the next episode. And then also with the bread coming in, once again, some city development here as well. And probably a monument of some sorts that we need. Hope you enjoyed this one still. Stay tuned.